Are you the life and soul of the party, or do you prefer a more refined affair? Portsmouth City Council want people to throw street parties to celebrate the Queen's 90th birthday next month. We have the Council's Assistant Events Manager Heather Todd in the studio to explain how to give the party the royal treatment, and Diane Brooks, who is putting together her own party to do the celebration as well. So we'll start off, thank you very much ladies, welcome.
Hello.
But hello Heather, tell us then, what is it that you're hoping people will do?
We're hoping that the community will get together and see this as a brilliant opportunity to make friends with neighbours they may not know very well, friends that they know very well, would like to spend more time with, and just to get a sense of community spirit to celebrate this amazing achievement of the Queen reaching 90 years old.
So when you're talking about street parties, are you seeing one on every avenue or in cul-de-sacs? What sort of thing are you thinking of?
I mean, our job obviously is we can't have the whole city come to a standstill, so we've got an application deadline of the 15th of April, so we're hoping to get up to 50 street parties, and we've got quite a nation, we're quite known across the nation for our street parties. I think a couple of years ago for the royal wedding we were just beaten by Bristol. I think we had 54 street parties that year and they had 57, so
really?
Something like that. So we're hoping to get that many again.
Come on Portsmouth then.
Exactly. I mean, when we had the Queen's 80th birthday, I think I was saying the Lord Mayor went round the city on a double-decker bus with a jazz band trying to visit as many parties as possible. So we're hoping to reach a really good target of parties. So
do you think the Lord Mayor will be doing that this year?
I know he's very keen to visit as many parties as he can. Not just he likes eating cake. But,
so when is the date that people need to be planning for?
Well, they've chosen the 12th of June, which is based on the Patrons' Lunch, which they're doing in, it's been decided by the government, they're doing it in the Mall in London, in St James's, is it St James's Road? They're inviting 600 organisations, so it's going to be the biggest street party ever seen in London, and it's going to be more of a highbrow affair with hampers and things like that. So we're doing it on the same day, so across the whole of the country there'll be as many street parties as possible.
Wow. Now you, Diane, you have hosted street parties before. What have you done?
In 2011 we hosted a street party to celebrate the wedding of William and Kate, and that was the first one we did, and that was a very successful event. So much so, the following year, when it was the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, we were asked by the residents if we'd do another street party. So we held a second one. Then we had a rest, and this year they want to get together again to celebrate the Queen's 90th birthday.
But how many people are you seeing would be on that street party?
The area in which we live lends itself quite nicely to organising a street party. It's part of a cul-de-sac, and the residents there have lived there for many years, a lot of them. So we're probably going to have within the region, so we do open it up not just to residents but to their family and friends. So we have in the region of about 90 people.
Wow. And so how many people does it need to organise that needs to get involved, the food, the catering, the commissions?
Well, we just started off with sending out flyers. Neighbour and I it all started when Neighbour and I just got together and said, wouldn't it be a great thing to get to know the community, the residents and neighbours far more. Let's try and see if anyone's interested in a street party. It was a very simple process of just putting together a flyer, posting it through all the neighbours' doors. You know, we didn't want to forget anyone, so you have to remember to include everybody. And we just said, look, we're having a meeting on the such and such a date. Come round for tea and cakes, if nothing else, and meet the neighbours. But the purpose is to try and see if anyone's interested in having a street party.
And is there any requirement for people to dress up, do anything?
No, I mean, it depends what the event is. And for the wedding, we didn't do any more than just do the traditional bunting. There was a lot of Union Jacks and that sort of thing. But we adapted a lot of the games around wedding themes and things like that. And instead of having pin the tail on the donkey, we had put the crown on the Queen. And, you know, you just adapt some very simple ideas to...
Well, we'll come back to some more of those ideas in a moment about what we could do for the Queen, her being 90 and everything. But so people that wanted to apply for a street party, what do they need to do? How could they go and find out more?
We have an event application form process for any event on City Council land, but we've tried to make it as simple as possible and straightforward for people doing a street party for the Queen's birthday. So it's an application for road closure. It's a 4-page document. You can pick it up on the City Council website, or you can get in touch with the events team and we'll send one out. We also have some handy guidelines on how to do a street party, what to think about the road closures, because what we do as a council is we offer to close the roads, and we provide road close signs and the on-street notices, so it makes it straightforward and simple for organisers. It reduces the cost as well. So that's a straightforward thing. The deadline is the 15th of April. Then we'll sit down, we'll look at all of the applications that we've had, and hopefully, provided they're not on a main bus route or they're going to cause a major disruption to the city, and they're not like 4 rows in a row, they should all be approved. We very rarely say no to any street parties. So it's just we need to make sure that all the information's been there. And Diane is a brilliant example. You get in touch with your neighbours, you write to everybody, say everyone's been informed, and once we've got that information there, we then write to everybody and say, yeah, off you go, have a good party.
And if someone wanted to join a street party, if they didn't really know anyone on their own street, could they just go along, do you think?
I guess they get in touch with the organiser and say, I live in the next road, we're not doing a party, can I come along and join in? But I think it's about community spirit, really. I mean, you were saying some people have just basically sat in the street and had cups of tea, others have gone the whole hog, fancy dressed. I was saying that they did chalking pictures on the pavement, they've had competitions. You can make it as exciting as you want to be, and that all depends on how enthusiastic the other residents and neighbours are.
So briefly then, Diane, tell me any particular idea you'd have for a game for the Queen's 90th?
Oh, crumbs. I haven't really thought that far ahead, actually, to be honest. I'm sure putting the crown on the Queen was always a popular one last year. We had queues of people keep wanting to do that. So, and we'll probably have a best hat competition. We often get a few crowns and tiaras in amongst that. So I'm sure we'll come up with some good ideas.
Thank you very much, Diane and Heather. And here we have, I'll quickly hold them up. These are our contribution for things that are going on to do with the royals. And but of course, there may be people that aren't interested in that at all.
Fabulous.
So thank you very much for joining us. And it's June the 12th for the Queen's 90th.